Are you scared to move to Japan? Ooh, okay. Asking the juicy questions. I'm tearing up. I didn't plan for this. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Jemma. If you didn't already know, if you didn't know, hi, my name is Jemma and welcome back. No second takes. We're just going for it. We're just going. I never thought I was going to be able to say this, but I am moving to Japan. Finally. If you guys have been following me and watching me for a while, you know that I have had a dream to live in Japan for a very, very long time. I'm still like kind of in disbelief. Like it's all happening so fast. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. I'm here to answer those questions for you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jemma and I'm a Lolita fashion and kawaii lifestyle content creator. You might be asking yourself, what the heck is a Lolita fashion and a kawaii lifestyle? Well, I'm here to tell you. Lolita fashion is an alternative fashion style from Harajuku, Japan that is inspired by Rococo and Victorian era clothing. Almost all of the content that I've been creating as of late is centered around Lolita fashion or kawaii lifestyle. But soon that will not be the case because I will be adding on yet another content pillar, and that is life in Japan, because I'm freaking moving and I'm so excited. I don't want to cry. I don't know. I'm tearing up. I didn't plan for this. Well, anyway, in March of 2023, I will be moving to Osaka, Japan to teach English full-time. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. While I will have a full-time job, I will absolutely still be posting on the internet. YouTube videos are a lot of work, so you may not see me so much on this platform during this period of my life, but if you want to make sure that you are still seeing my face on the internet, definitely go ahead and follow my Instagram. I am the most active on my Instagram. I'm also very active on my TikTok. So go ahead and follow those so that you can follow me along on my journey to moving to Japan. Moving to Japan has been my dream ever since I was 14 years old. And then by the time I finally visited Japan for the first time in the spring of 2019, like that dream was just solidified. At that point, I had already done so much research and educated myself so much about Japanese culture and everything that I knew that I needed to learn in order to best prepare me to live in Japan, because this was my dream. I had this dream ever since I was a kid, and then by the time I was an adult and actually visited the country, I was like, yep, I'm right. At that point, I knew that I couldn't die without having the experience of living in Japan even for a short amount of time, because I would deeply, deeply regret it. I'm seizing the moment, I'm taking the opportunity, and I'm moving to Japan. I asked you guys on my Instagram what questions you have for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and answer them now. First question, do you need to know Japanese in order to move to Japan and work as an English teacher? Yes and no. In your English teaching job, most people are going to expect that you know very, very little Japanese. So most of your coworkers are going to speak with you in English. Knowing some Japanese is going to help you a lot with just your life there. Especially if you are going to be living in an area that is rural, you're going to have a really hard time eating at restaurants, going to the supermarket and finding what you need. I really recommend you to learn Japanese. I think it's really important to put in the effort to learn the language there if you're going to be living there. Learning those basic phrases even will just help you so much, and it just really shows that you are interested in the culture and you're dedicated to learning about it and learning the language. How difficult is it to actually move to Japan? To move to Japan and live in Japan, you need somebody to sponsor your visa. There is a whole list of visas and all the different kinds. Unfortunately, there isn't just one that you can pick up and like buy to live there. Well, the one that you could buy is a student visa because you will be paying for the classes you're taking there. If you want to learn Japanese in Japan, you can do a Japanese language school. That is probably the easiest visa to get because you can just decide to get it and then do it. If you want to work in Japan, you're going to need a working visa, and there are multiple different types of working visas, but one of the most popular and easiest way is to teach English. If English is your first language or you're really, really proficient in English, you can teach English in Japan. What you do need is a bachelor's degree. Most, if not all, of the companies that bring over foreigners and bring them to Japan to teach require a bachelor's degree. Now, once you get your bachelor's degree, you have to do a lot of interviews to see which company will sponsor your visa to teach English in Japan. I did interviews with 4 different companies and 2 of them said yes. When the first one said no, no, I was like so distraught and so discouraged, and I thought like nobody would sponsor my visa. And then when I got the second no, I was just like, oh no, here we go. But the last two did say yes, and then I just chose which one I thought would be the best fit for me. Once you have a company that's going to sponsor your visa, the chances are they're going to help you a lot with all of those little details. They're going to give you a lot of information. A lot of them even provide you housing or like find housing for you. They will be there and help you every step of the way. Or at least the right company will. Question number 3. Do you speak Japanese? Yes, I do speak Japanese. I have been learning Japanese since I was in middle school. In middle school, I started with after-school classes. Now, I was privileged enough to live in an area and go to a school that had after-school Japanese lessons. That is not normal. At this point, like, you know, I wasn't good at it, but I was being introduced to it and I was listening to it and I was learning. It took 3 years of Japanese in high school, and then I continued to learn Japanese in college. I took 2 years of Japanese at my community college. I continued learning Japanese in university, and eventually I got my minor in Japanese language. I am not perfect or fluent by any means in Japanese. I have a pretty good grasp on the language and how to articulate myself in most daily conversations. I want to get even better, and I want to get fluent one day. I'm going to try my best and become even better during my time living in Japan. Question number 4. I think, what grades will I be teaching English? So I'll actually be teaching at an Eikaiwa, which is an English language school. So I'll actually be teaching all ages of people, from like little tiny babies to like businessmen. Eikaiwas, they're not for everybody, but say like assistant language teacher is also not for everybody. So it really just kind of depends on the person. Yeah, I will be teaching all ages. A challenge for sure, but I'm sure I'll be great. Question number 5. What am I going to be doing with all of my dresses? I got this question so much and it is so valid. I just don't think I can take all of my dresses to Japan with me at this moment. I know, I'm literally so sad. Like, I'm really heartbroken about it. My apartment that I'm going to be moving into is going to be very small. I'm going to have to leave some of my dresses behind. So I'm going to bring a few dresses and a few shoes, accessories, and things like that that all can go with each other. The rest of my dresses I'm going to give to my parents, and then over time, when I have more space to store my dresses, I'm gonna have my parents ship my dresses to me. It's just a temporary goodbye. I will see them again in the future. Question number 6. Why did you choose to move to Osaka? So when I applied for this English teaching job, they asked me what areas of Japan that I wanted to live in. I said my number 1 priority was Tokyo, and my second choice was Osaka. Of course I wanted to live in Tokyo because, like, Tokyo, right? I wanted to make sure that I had a backup option because I wanted to move to Japan sooner than later, and having more options was going to guarantee more spots available for me. So I was like, Tokyo, if not Tokyo, Osaka. And so I was placed in Osaka. I loved Osaka. I also loved Tokyo. While they're both very different from one another, they're both very enriching to live in. Maybe one day I might move to Tokyo because I feel like that would be a really cool experience as well. Question number 7. What are you going to wear while teaching? In the US, teachers can wear what they want and they can be kind of like Miss Frizzle and dress however they want. But unfortunately, teaching English in Japan isn't quite like that. With English language schools, you have a very strict dress code. You have to wear suits and look very professional. Unfortunately, I won't be wearing Lolita or anything close while teaching English, but I'm perfectly fine with that. My voice, last night was karaoke night and she's a little crispy. Question number 8. What do you think about dating in Japan as a queer person? We're just going straight for the juicy questions. Okay. For those of you that don't know, Japan is quite conservative in most ways, kind of not in some ways. For me, dating in Japan, it's gonna be weird. I don't really have an answer for you. Currently, I'm not looking actively to date in Japan right now. I think that's kind of just something I'm going to experience if the opportunity presents itself. I'm fully prepared to put myself out there for the people that want it and deserve it. And that goes for in any country. Question number 9. What is the working environment like in Japan or in your job, and how do you feel about it? Japanese people have a very strong work ethic, almost to the point that it can be a little bit much, especially compared to what the work environment and the work culture is like in America. A lot of people will just work really, really long hours, won't take their vacation or take their breaks, and then even after their job, they'll go out with their coworkers until very, very late at night, which is why you see a lot of drunk businessmen falling asleep on the train. Yes, I'm aware of the work culture, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that it's very, very important to have a healthy work-life balance just to function as a human being in society. I will be taking every single day of my vacation. I won't work overtime unless I'm compensated fairly for, and there's an incentive too. My health comes first no matter what, and the opinions of others are last on the list. So I'm going to continue to do me, even if that makes other people uncomfortable. Question number 10. Are you scared to move to Japan? Absolutely. I am terrified. I'm anxious about so many little details possibly going wrong. I'm prepared for the anxiety attacks. I know I'm going to have some time adjusting. It's probably going to be really, really hard at first, and then I'm going to find my footing and it's going to get easier and easier. While my anxiety says, what if this happens? What if? My intuition says, you need to do this. You'll deeply regret if you don't ever do this, which is so very, very true. Am I scared to move to Japan? Absolutely. Am I going to do it scared? Yes. And I am proud of that. Question 11. Why do you want to move to Japan, and what are you most excited about? I want to move to Japan because I want to live in Japan. I'm sorry I don't have a super creative answer to that question. I just want to live in Japan. And as for the thing that I'm most excited for is life in Japan. The things that I am excited about is just the everyday mundane life in Japan things. I'm excited to see sakura blossoms on my way walking to the station. I'm excited to go to the convenience store late at night to buy an onigiri. I'm excited to travel to different areas of Japan. I'm excited to finally be utilizing the language that I've been spending so many years learning. I'm excited to learn even more about the culture and really immerse myself in a culture that's so far and completely opposite from my own. I'm excited to hear the cicada in the background in the super hot and humid summers. I'm just excited for life in Japan and experiencing something that is so completely different from my life now. It's really as simple as that. Question 12. How long do I plan on living in Japan? So my contract is for 1 year. At that point, I plan on checking in with myself and just seeing how I feel and if I want to continue living there. I think it might be highly likely that I want to stay in Japan and live there long term. I just don't know yet until I've lived there for an amount of time. But for now, I'm confirmed for 1 year. Question 13. Okay, have I been a teacher before? I haven't. No, I have not been a teacher before. This is my first time being a teacher, and they do train you, so I will be trained and ready to go. You don't have to teach beforehand for them to consider you. Of course, some companies and some businesses require you to have that experience, but a lot of these companies that bring over people from overseas, they're really just kind of looking for a certain kind of personality and somebody who's really adaptable and able to learn. I'm having a feeling I'll be pretty good at it. I'm pretty good with people, so I think after my training, I'll feel really confident and I'll be able to freaking kill it. Last question. How do you actually move to Japan with all of your furniture and belongings? When people move out of the country, they usually are not bringing any furniture with them. They're going to bring the bare minimum. They will just completely get rid of all of their belongings except for the things that they're bringing. Or what a lot of other people do is they put all the things that they're not bringing with them into a storage unit. Or if you have family members with with like extra storage in their basement or something, that is also a really good option if that is available to you. My apartment is actually fully furnished, so I won't be needing a lot of stuff to begin with. All right, those are all the questions that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and comment below any other questions that you might have for me so that I can respond to you and answer them. I will be doing as many vlogs in Japan as I can possibly manage. If you want to see my face more often, definitely follow my Instagram. And of course, I'll be creating on my TikTok as well. But yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful day and I hope that you keep on smiling, and I will see you in my next video, possibly in Japan. Bye.